wife, Mary.
I don't know how you've done all these years. Seeing all the things you've seen, doing all the things you've done, makes you feel inhuman after a while.
Captain, you do know Chief Yellowhawk. The Army wants to be certain that the Chief gets home to Montana safely without incident.
I don't have any idea what he's done. He's a butcher.
Then the two of you ought to get along just fine.
I've killed savages because that's my job. You have no idea what war it does to a man. I hate him. I got a war bag of reasons to hate him.
This will be done, and it will be done by you.
The parade's over. Put him in chains.
You believe in the Lord, Joseph?
Yes, I do. But he's been blind to what's going on out here for a long time.
If I did not have faith, what would I have?
No, I've killed everything that's walked or crawled. If you do it enough, you get used to it. That's what I'm afraid of.
You just gotta take your dues.
We both know it could just as easily be you sitting here in these chains.
Sometimes I envy the finality of death, the certainty. And I have to drive those thoughts away when I'm weak.
Understand this. When we lay our heads down out here, we're all prisoners.
Hi, this is Mike Furchess and my wife Mary Jane Furchess back at you here with the Movie Guys, bringing you another review of another movie that's out in theaters. Currently it's out in theaters, and again, one of the good things about the movie reviews is that while it might be in a movie theater now, it won't be later, but it gives a chance for people to watch it when it goes to DVD, and then they'll have a chance to watch it maybe when it goes to network television or goes to a streaming channel as well. So people are always looking for movies, and we hope to do as many movie reviews as we can, and we'll be doing more in the future, improving upon the technology and the technical components of the program as well. But I do want to thank you for watching the Movie Guys, and today we've got a fun one to talk about. It's one that Mary Jane and I saw again prior to primary release, prior to main release, and it's a movie that's gotten some criticism, not very much. It's gotten a ton of praise. There are some that are critical of it, but it's a movie that I think we both loved. Mary Jane, the movie is
Hostiles.
And tell us something about what Hostiles is and what it's about.
Hostiles is a Western, and I grew up watching Westerns and going to the movies to see Westerns. I love Westerns. And
You even
this
took a
one-
class in college,
Yeah, I
a graduate degree course on Westerns.
On film Westerns.
Yeah.
I did. Hostiles it's an original screenplay, which I like, and it's the set as a cavalry guy.
Mhm.
His mission is to take this Indian chief who's been in prison at the fort. I don't remember the name of the fort they were at. Anyway, he's supposed to take him. He's dying, and he and his
The Indian is Chief Yellowhawk, and he's played by one of the great Native American actors of all time, Wes Studi,
yeah.
which was kind of an honor. That Wes read my review of this at Mike Furchess Reviews, and Wes liked the review enough that he even shared it. So yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah. So anyway, his mission is to take this Chief Yellowsky, was it
It's the Yellowhawk
Yellowhawk, with his
family.
back to his native country, which was in the Dakota, was it?
Montana.
Montana. And I guess they were in Texas or somewhere. And anyway, he had to take him up And he didn't want to do it because he hated Indians.
They're in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Maybe in New Mexico they were in.
Anyway, he hated his dealings with Indians throughout his career in the military. He had had too many bad experiences, and so he just really hated them, literally, and said he didn't want to do it, wasn't going to do it, and he was told he had to do it. And so it's the story.
Then he would get kicked out of the military and wouldn't get his retirement if he didn't
Yeah,
follow orders.
If he didn't follow these orders. So this was sort of like his last
Yeah.
mission, so to speak. And so the movie is the story of him taking this dying chief back home to this valley in Montana where he was from originally.
The chief again is Chief Yellowhawk, played by Wes Studi, and the guy Mary Jane's referring to is played by Christian Bale. I think you made mention of that. Who plays the part of Captain Joseph Blocker. And so anyway, go ahead.
Well, the scenery in it, the cinematography is absolutely amazing. I was just so surprised. I mean, it was just breathtaking at times, the scenery in it. And especially they had the traditional piece that you always have in westerns of the cowboys or the Indians riding against a sunset sky. And they showed that several times in there on their journey. And then it showed all the hardships that they encountered. He started out, he handpicked four? He started out with 4 soldiers to help him.
Maybe 4 or 5 soldiers.
4 or 5. And one of them was the guy from
Game Night.
From Game Night.
Yeah. That was Lieutenant Rudy Kidder, played by Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, he was in it. And that was his first, was that his, no. Who was the other? There was one kid that was the first time he'd ever been out on a mission. Anyway, they encounter all kinds of problems, obviously, on this trail to try to get him back. And throughout it, you see, well, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. What I'll say, the movie opens in a brutal massacre, and it's brutal. And there's a band of Cheyennes. Was it the Cheyenne or Comanche? A band of Comanche. There's a band of Comanche that are on the run, that are not giving in to the U.S. Cavalry and the United States' commands, and they attack a homestead out in the plains, and it's a massacre. It's a brutal, bloody, disgusting massacre. That's how the movie starts. Now, the wife of the family, she lives, and so she comes into contact with Christian Bale, Captain Blocker. She comes into contact with him. They find her, and she proceeds to go with them on the journey. So we see a complexity of relationships that develop, and we see that among many of the characters, including his character and her character. And we also see the complexity of relationships that develop between these Indians that he's responsible for taking back to Montana. I think it's Montana, it could be Wyoming, but he's responsible for taking them back.
Montana.
But we see the complexity of relationships in those characters as well, between the white man and the Indians. And then the Indians' relationship with the actress Rosamund Pike, who plays Rosalie Quaid in the movie, that was a part of the family that was massacred. So we see the complexity of that whole thing develop. And one of the things I really appreciated is this movie takes place after the Civil War. And there's so many things we can say, and I will say some of those things. It takes place after the Civil War. And many of these characters in the movie have experienced what today we call post-traumatic stress disorder. And we see that portrayed in a way that is rather impactful about the love and the appreciation that the soldiers have for each other that have served together, and then the difficulty of those soldiers living with what they've had to live with. I thought it did a very good job in that regard as well. What I will say as well, again, without trying to give too many spoilers away, there's a lot that transpires on this journey. And one of the beautiful things that I liked about the movie is the portrayal of the importance of caring for each other, learning to forgive, learning to make amends, and seeing strengths in each other when in the past maybe all that we've seen are negatives with each other. And again, I don't want to give too many trailers away. A lot of people do not like the ending of this movie. I understand why they don't like it, but the ending of the movie, to me, it brings home really the importance of how we can change as a society and how we respect and love and care for people. I thought it was beautiful in that regard. And I will say this as well, that's a huge part of the ending. There's another part of the ending that for me, and I won't tell you what it is, was satisfying. Because all through the movie I kept saying, well, I wish they would, why don't they? And in the end, they do. And I won't give that away, but I agree with you. What I found out today was that the movie was released on December the 23rd. And what happened is that most of the advances had been sent to the Academy for Oscar consideration. So therefore, it didn't have time to promote itself as an Oscar contender, an Academy Award contender. And as a result, there were no Academy Award nominations for this movie. I think Christian Bale deserved an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. I think Wes Studi deserved an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. I think that Rosamund Pike, who played Rosalie Quaid, I think she deserved a nomination for Best Supporting Actress, Best Cinematography, Best Score, Best Costume and Design. The costuming in this, I hate seeing movies, period pieces, westerns or period pieces like Samson, and the characters have the most beautiful shiny teeth with the most wonderful makeup, and as far as you know, yeah, the hair's wonderful and immaculate. This movie's real.
It was.
You see the threads in the uniforms. You see the
close-ups,
the bad haircuts that you would have given each other.
Yeah.
It's immaculate, and I think deserving of a number of Academy Awards, including Best Original Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Actor, Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor. It's that good of a movie. And some people may not like it, but I strongly disagree. I think it's one of the great movies and the best movies of the year. In fact, I would say that this is most definitely one of the best 3 or 4 movies of the year, without a doubt. Hostiles.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning, I love westerns. And Mike will tell you, there's not many movies that I will go see again, that I like to watch again and again and again. But I told him before we left the theater, I said, when this comes out on DVD, we're buying it because I'm going to watch it. It's a movie that I will watch over and over, like Lonesome Dove. I watched Lonesome Dove and Open Range I don't know how many times. But this one was just, it was just I thought it was a beautiful masterpiece of a Western story. And it had a very good commentary, and it's related to the title, Hostiles.
Yeah. Well, great commentary there, but there's a ton of biblical references in the movie too. The importance of faith in the characters from a Christian perspective, and how that they live out, what they say as a Christian, and then what they ultimately come to realize what is a Christian. Those are two different things. You might say you're a Christian, but how can you be a Christian? On the movie Hostiles, on the reviews as far as ratings, something we don't do very often, something I don't do very often, usually once or twice a year at most if I do it that often. I'm going to give this movie on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give it the perfect score of 10. It was just that good. Mary Jane, what about you?
10.
This is our first one that we've been in agreement that got a perfect score from both of us. So that says something about the movie. So it's a perfect score. Great, great movie. Would encourage you to check it out.
I recommend it highly, highly, highly.
And something you told me before we even left the theater that you...
When it comes out on DVD, it will be purchased by the purchases.
Yeah, and we don't purchase DVDs very much anymore. When we do, it's because we want to see the special commentary and we want to see the special features and that type of thing. This will be one that we purchase. It's that good, and I'm looking forward to it that much.
Me too.
So, that all said, one thing I want to say, we're saying at the end of every show, your desire to be on your cell phone during the movie, to see what's going on for whatever reason, does not give you the right to ruin the movie-going experience for everyone else in the theater who have also paid to watch and enjoy a movie. Cell phones is the #1 pet peeve among movie-going audiences across the country. If you're on your cell phone, don't be surprised if someone tells you to turn it off. Don't be surprised if someone goes and gets a manager and has you removed from the theater. Again, your desire to be on the phone and do whatever it is you're doing other than watching the movie does not give you the right to ruin the movie-going experience for everyone else in the audience. So remember that. Some of us are out there to get you either to turn the phone off or get you booted from the theater. So I'm not apologetic about that. We're tired of seeing people ruin our movies and our experiences, our dates, our times out for entertainment by turning on your cell phone. You don't realize if you're sitting in front of someone, everyone behind you is distracted and drawn to that cell phone. So just remember that. I also want to remind you can check out the Movie Guys at www.facebook.com/The Movie Guys or Wichita Movie Guys. Let me get it to you again, www.facebook.com/Wichita Movie Guys. You can also subscribe to our videos at YouTube to stay up to date with what's going on. YouTube.com.
YouTube.com.
And hopefully in the near future we'll be on a television show with a lot better technical stuff, editing, and all that kind of production that's going on. So I want to thank you again for watching The Movie Guys. Have a great day. I'm Mike Furchess. This is my wife.
Mary Jane.
And we hope you've enjoyed the show. Enjoy the movies. And again, remember to turn off the cell phones and the process. Have a great time at the movies.